Good morning, and welcome to today's ad-free live stream. Super pumped that you're here. My name's Tyler. If you're joining for the first time, if you've been here before, I'm glad you're back. Glad to have you. Today is Wednesday, and this morning we had CPI. During these live streams, we're going to be going through all live price action. We're going to be sharing my daily trading bias, showing you real live trades, and showing you all the good stuff. So we're going to get started in that. Let's go ahead, open in prayer. Father, we honor you this morning. We thank you for the opportunity to build wealth. Father, give us wisdom and discernment as we trade in these volatile markets. Give us wisdom. Father, I pray that you'd bless everyone here, that they would see increase in their efforts to become profitable day traders. In Jesus' name, amen. Now, if you're looking to take your trading to the next level, you can use the code DTJ and you can get, I believe right now it's 80% off. 80% off Apex evals, which is about $29 for a 25K account and $33 for a 50K account. So let's go ahead, jump into the charts, and let's take a look. We got a lot going on this morning. So first thing I want to note, I'm going to jump over to ES real quick. ES just hit its previous day high, and we have the previous day low from the previous day. So this is a daily fair value gap that we literally just tagged. So that was my first thing that I wanted to see have happen. So right now on NQ, I would begin to look for it to roll over. That's kind of what I want to see happen, is it roll over. I want to target these data lows. That's really where my eye is going to be. We're going to be patient and wait for the best setup, something that's very clear and obvious. And we reached down. We really sold off yesterday. We really sold off yesterday. I was correct in my assumption that we were not going to break the highs, but we were going to run the lows. It just took about till 10 a.m. and then it was just a slow grind all the way down. Good morning, Ted. Flight Suit, how you doing, my friend? Tony, good morning. Glad you guys are here this morning. It's going to be a good morning here. I got my trade copier back up working. Thank you, Jesus. I really did not like trading on TradingView, the copier there. It just, for whatever reason, it wasn't my normal routine. It wasn't my normal pattern, and it was messing with my psyche, just messing with some of the trades that I was taking. I just felt like I was more emotional. Good morning, Jonathan. How you doing? Glad you're here. So, excuse me. I might be a little more lethargic this morning, folks, as I have a pounding headache. My head has been pounding all morning. So, we're going to push through that and see what, but we'll probably be a little more chill this morning. So, we are looking here at the hourly. I'm looking at the hourly right here. The hourly jumps is from there. Let's jump to the 4-hour. All these higher time frame fair value gaps have been taken. The thing that's obvious to me is that we've come up to, I pulled a Fibonacci tool from the high, all-time highs, to the low, and we have our 50% level, which we consolidated under. Do you see that? We consolidated under there, so it recognized it. That's what that means for me. And then we are now up to the 62 or 61.8% level. All the while, ES has tagged the previous day high and inside the daily fair value gap from that high to that low. All the while sitting inside a 15-minute fair value gap. So we'll see if it wants to push higher here. We are on the 15-minute time frame for ES. I'm going to pay a little more attention to ES. I've noticed Notice where this candle wicks into this 15-minute fair value gap. It's at 1045. It's at 1045. Now look at yesterday's price action on the 15-minute candle. Look at where 1045 is. I think it's right here. 1045. So price on NQ went higher and started rolling over, but what it was waiting for ES to tag that 15-minute fair value gap. And after ES tagged that 15-minute fair value gap, it just like let loose. That's where we got that big run right here. When I was going back and I was looking at that trade that I took, because we got a nice chunk. Ted, how many handles did we get? I think you mentioned that you passed an eval account on that trade. But this move right here was huge. But it didn't run until ES hit the 15-minute fair value gap. It's like it was waiting for it to hit this level and then it just let loose. So I'm going to be doing a little more analysis on ES. I think I've seen it correlate before, but when I saw that, I was just like, there's more correlation than I probably give it credit for. Yes, you could trade this on its own, NQ, but just to see the confluences, it might help on some timing issues. Oh, you would have passed it. Got it. But you got a nice trade on there. Phil, we did do the morning prayer, yes. But we should see some increase today. That's what we're going to see. So right now, it is obviously bullish. I want to run for the data lows, but we're going to have to wait and see if we want to run that. We've already ran through this 15-minute fair value gap sitting right here and have closed through it. And there's nothing else on the 15-minute. If we drop down to the 5-minute, the only thing we have is this 5-minute fair value gap. So we're going to drop a 5-minute fair value gap on here. And we're going to track this and see if it wants to close and get above this. All right, so there's the 5-minute. And then the other thing we have is the new week opening gaps high and low. Which we filled that one time on Monday. We filled that and then dropped. That was a beautiful trade from Monday. That was beautiful.
You not gonna work out with me?
I'm not alive. Yeah, I see a market maker buy model. I didn't have it. It wasn't in the car. I had to use my phone. I'm on the live. Thank you. Can you use your phone to start the car? That's a great trade, Ted. Nice job. A market maker sell model. It could be a market maker sell model. I personally want it to be a market maker sell model, but I think we need to make sure we're not underestimating the power of all-time highs. The power of all-time highs. Here's the daily, or here's the 4-hour. Based on this 4-hour, we've already balanced this. We've balanced this. We're closing in 40 minutes. We would need to roll over pretty quickly. ES is still hovering underneath that previous day high. So it's tagged it and staying there. So I do like that. We'll see if NQ is just reaching for the 5-minute fair value gap, or if it's trying to grab buy side liquidity here. But I mean, right now it's purely bullish, but we're gonna wait and see where things are gonna go. We have our opening range gap already marked. I have the low marked. We have the new day opening gap and midnight open already tagged close to the data lows. So I really do like the idea of looking for a downside move. But I'm not going to lie, if this 4-hour closes like this, if this 4-hour closes as green it is right now, we're going to have some issues. It's a very large opening range gap. We got from 427 to 556. Yeah. The CPI, what was it? NFP? Yeah, NFP didn't get tagged until Monday. Monday or no, it was yesterday. Yeah, Monday. NFP didn't get tagged till Monday. I'm going to remove some of these. We do have a large volume imbalance on the daily. If we go to the daily time frame, see this large volume imbalance. I really like that. If I'm honest, I would like NQ not to run these highs. I would like for it to stay underneath it. All right, I'm just getting my trade copier set up. For those of you that have been here the past few days, I've had issues with my trade copier. I got it all fixed. I basically had to reinstall the toolkit, and I upgraded it to the newest version, and then it worked. All right, we're looking for this. I'm looking for this 5-minute to be tagged. That would be enough for me. And the buy side liquidity, I really don't want it to be tagged. Here's ES still. Hasn't made any progress higher. 5-minute looks like it's found its support. If this 4-minute candle closes by the open, we could get a little pump if it closes above these 2 order blocks. Do we got more news at 9:45? Let's see what we got. Tuesday, Wednesday, we have core CPI at 8:30, 9:45. We have BOC rates. I don't even know what that means. Oh, that's Canada. That's why. Crude oil at 10:30. So it's Canada at 9:45. U.S. crude oil inventories at 10:30. Yeah, I'll be interested to see if that actually affects it, but I don't think that will. Good morning, Northern. How you doing? Guttenberg, Greg, how you doing? It's good to see you guys. Deborah, good morning. You guys are visualizer and Deborah. You're saying no. Are you saying no to Ted? That 9:45 news. I'm assuming that's the case. Three minutes till market open. I'd like it to tap this 5-minute. There we go. And now I'm okay with a drop. We got equal lows right here. This is the drop that I'm looking for. I'm going to see if we can get below here, these equal lows. That would be nice. Kind of put in a displacement. That's kind of what I would be looking for. 5-minute candle. We would have to wait 4 more minutes, 3 more minutes for it to close below this candle here. We'll see if it wants to do that. Or if it wants to reach for this buy side liquidity. Four standard deviations comes up to these this level over here. So I'm curious to see if we're going to expand higher from this manipulation leg. We got a lot of opening range gap to fill. The only obvious level is this buy side. So ES is still sitting inside that fair value gap and messing around inside that daily fair value gap. So we'll see if it wants to push up through it. This is the 5-minute time frame. And this is a 15-minute. There is a 5-minute SIBI or SIBI sitting right here. We'll mark that. The 930 model did play out this morning. It's been playing out right now. It's about a let's see, anywhere from a 70 to 80% win rate right now. I don't know what it is. Don't want to switch over right now. Looks like we might get our first fair value gap sitting right here. So buy side liquidity is also previous day high. I should have marked that way. Sorry. So that's previous day high. So for how big this range is, I'm not seeing a market maker sell model on the higher time frame. I'm seeing we're probably visiting all-time highs again. So I think if the narrative is bullish, yeah, I think we could get some nice aggressive moves lower down into these areas. But I don't think we're going to run the previous day low, which is down here, at least today. So I guess we could see a higher time frame narrative, but it depends on how we react on this previous day high. If we're going to just sweep the stops that are sitting above this level and roll over, or if we're going to find support here and continue higher towards the new week opening gap, and potentially reaching for all-time highs. Do you think it'll bounce down from 590? Well, I think I missed. Do you think it'll bounce from down? Let me rephrase that. Are you saying will it come down, Phil, and do one of these and move higher? I think if it's going to do that, I think that's where it would happen, or it could happen at the previous day highs. But I really do like these equal lows here. I mean, this is nice and smooth. This is going to get this. They'll make this jagged, however they do, and it will also give them moving into the opening range gap. They have not done anything. Where's the opening range gap? 930. Here's the opening range gap, and then 930 price is sitting right here. Turtle souping is scary. I don't like turtle soups. I mean, it's happened to me one or two times, and where I get in for a turtle soup, and literally it ran like 80 points in like 3 minutes. It was insane. I don't know if you were on here for that. That wasn't too long ago. That was an insane move. But it's only nice when it goes your way immediately. When it doesn't go your way, like this, right here, I could see somebody trying to do a turtle soup, and then it would have just got stopped out. You know what I mean? I'd rather take this inversion to these equal lows. I'll give us about a 20 handle move. A little less than 20 handles. Really, as far as an upside move, this previous day high is the only target I can really see, unless it really wants to reach for the new week opening gap. But we've tagged that a couple times. No, I guess we only tagged it once right here. No, we didn't even tag that after. You know what? I better check that out. All right, so yes, we did tag it once. The new week opening gap from this week, we tagged right here and filled it one time. It will reference that point many times. It can reference the new week opening gap, can be referenced a few times. But let's mark this high. This would be What's up, Jordy? How you doing? We're trying to get an idea when we could drop, how high we want to reach. I'm not taking anything long right now. I mean, it started going higher from CPI. CPI was that news. I would love to run for these data lows down here. I'm not sure if we're going to get that or not. It could be a trend day. If we get a trend day, the only option that we have is to hope for a heavy retracement. We could potentially play that retracement for 10 to 20 handles. But I'm trying to figure out and identify how high we want to go. We've ran the previous day high here. We have our new week opening gap here, and then we have the previous day New York AM high sitting right there. No, the first, in the first weekly. Yeah, I haven't put that on my charts. But I'm waiting for a short as well. Violation of this fair value gap right here. That's a good sign. Right now, the most obvious trade setup is running a close below this inversion to these equal lows. If we close below this, we have a chance of coming back up in here to this breaker. So I see this as a high, low, higher, high. We'll see if it wants to run lower. All right, so we had this inversion fair value gap that closed below this inversion fair value gap, and in the next candle it failed. So this is why I'm not taking anything except for what's obvious, because we are in a very bullish environment right now, and we're trying to play a potential retracement or reversal. So we just need to be pretty careful here. You could use this as this is an order block, this is a propulsion block. So if this is a propulsion block, this candle should expand higher pretty aggressively. Especially since this basically invalidated this inversion fair value gap right here. My goal today, folks, is to take less than 3 trades. Ideally, I would like to be one and done. There was a verse that I was reading this morning. I'll read it to you guys here. I'll read it to you guys here while we're sitting here waiting. All right, so there's the sweep of the highs. And while that's sweeping the highs, ES is coming into that 5-minute fair value gap. If we don't get if we don't get this high swept, that might be an SMT. Yeah, I agree with that, Ted. There was another pool of liquidity there. My fear is that we're turning into a trend day. It's trending back to all-time highs. Isn't that crazy? From this morning, from 8:30, we're at 21,450. Now we're 200 points higher, and we're less than 100 points from all-time highs. I mean, that's going to be hard to deny. I mean, this looks daily fair value gap tagged. We push higher here. I think that's what we're going for. We might have to turn our bias bullish here, folks. The only thing that right now, I think what I would want to see happen is some type of retracement to these highs right here and get a nice inversion fair value gap to move higher. So here's all-time highs right here. So what I would like to see, if I'm looking for a trade idea, we've obviously done this. I would like it to stop before we actually hit that high. And then I would like to see some type of retracement here. It could be a shallow retracement. It could be a deeper retracement. But then what I would be looking for is not this, not a breaker to go lower, but inversion fair value gap to go higher. So a inversion somewhere like that where we go long here and target the highs. Unless ES really finds ES just ran its high right here. Here's ES. ES just ran its high on the 5-minute. I marked that level out there. It's much further away from its all-time highs. But we have this breaker here that it's coming up into right here. So ES has this high, low, higher high. If I take that to the daily, you'll see it much clearer. So we got the high, low, higher high. We are now up into this breaker. So I see potential for both, but I think all-time highs are winning right now. So here's what we got to make sure we don't get sucked into. I'm talking to myself right now, okay? We cannot get sucked into an aggressive move lower. If we see this, okay? If we see something like that, we disregard the rest of this candle. We need to ignore any aggressive move like this. We have to see it close below this first fair value gap, in my opinion. Because you could get an aggressive candle come all the way down to this order block right here, and it could still be bullish. So any aggressive move lower, we need to not really pay attention to and find out if it runs through these other confluences, these other PD arrays here. The inversion, this order block, and find out how it reacts to these levels. Because if we react to these levels, it could still go higher. That's the thing we got to be careful about in this bullish environment is aggressive candles lower. It's these environments that we get these absurdly fast down closing candles. We just got to be careful about that. Why do I have that? We do have this hourly here. Let's see where this hourly closes. Two scenarios. If the hourly closes inside this SIBI, the next hourly candle could still wick through all-time highs, but I would say it's not going to be as aggressive as if compared to if we were to close above this here, above it in this candle, and then we move towards that level. It's obvious it's running towards these highs, guys. I mean, we could probably just take a long and probably make money. I'm not going to lie. I know traders that would do that. But we're so close to this level now that I would want to see a retracement first. So if we can get down to here, yeah, it's tough. I mean, I think there's more value in the discipline of not getting in, even though you know it's going higher. There is value, guys, in your ability to sit and watch this knowing that it's going to hit this all-time high and not actually trading it. It's self-control. And self-control is so needed in this industry. It's an area that I have success in, and then I decide I'm going to just blow it out of the water at times. This is the kind of candle I want to see before. If it's really bullish, it will only touch this first fair value gap and then react from there. This candle's low, 77.25. No, 65. Equal loss. Now I'm not taking on this first stab here. I want to see how it reacts. See where this candle closes. I don't know why I'm getting so many calls here. This is the trade right here. I'm going to take a personal account trade on this. That will be off screen. I'm not copying this trade just because we're really high. I want to be conservative with my funded accounts. But I'm taking a personal trade on this one right now. The 30-second looks more pronounced. We've got 1 minute till 10 o'clock. Okay, 10 o'clock's right here. See if we get a little reaction here and a little push. I'm going to take one contract off there. Just so you guys know, that's the trade I'm in right now. I moved it a little bit higher, thinking that we could get an expansion through the all-time highs. So all-time highs are sitting at 706. I have my limit order set at 720. I don't have a problem moving that at any given moment. Doesn't look like it wants to do it right now. I have my stop at break even. Break even's at 680. We're sitting right there, man. All right, I think we could sell off right here. Not sell off, but I think we could turn this into a breaker, potentially. We have the 30-second that just did that close below. Not quite, but the next candle probably will get there. All right, my stop was hit. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if it goes into the 5-minute. Pulls back into this 5-minute. I mean, if we get a bigger pullback, I'll back up to there. I will take that as well. There's the sweep. Let's see if it gets another push higher or if it rolls over here. I'm expecting another push. All right, so new all-time highs. There we go, folks. Let's see what kind of reaction we get here. Yeah, just wanted my stop. I know. Always just wants the steps. At this point, guys, we're gonna sit and see what our price wants to do here. Looks, it's finding it wicked down into this order block here. It could get another expansion here, but am I gonna try to go long right here? Heck no. I don't know what the draw and liquidity is. I mean, you could, if you want to try and start testing this out, you could put 1 standard deviation, see if we can get up to 1 standard deviation from this manipulation leg. I think that's reasonable, that we should reach up into this level here. Again, we're sitting here being patient, folks. We did a small, I did a personal long here. I didn't do my copied accounts because I didn't want to take that risk with all of being so high in premium. Right now, ES is sitting inside its a 4-hour fair value gap right here. I really do like this level that it's at. Would like to see it roll over from here, to be honest. So we did reach up into that 1 standard deviation. It could go to any of these levels, to be honest. I just don't know where it's going to go when it's up here. So right now, on a 5-minute time frame, this candle right here is the candle that broke the all-time highs. If we do roll over, we need to see a change in state of delivery right here. I'm not looking for anything short unless we hit and go through this level. That could change if we expand higher and we have an obvious fair value gap. But this right here, this order block that I would want to turn into an order block, is the point that I would want to see price close below before I start looking for lower prices. And even still, it could run all the way back down to here, this order block right here, and still be bullish. I mean, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 candles closed green on the 15-minute. 9. Let's just go back and look at history here. When's the last time we've seen 9 in a row green candles? 6. Or down closed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. Yeah, this is insane. And it's so large. I mean, this last candle right here is closing in 1 minute and 30 seconds. We'll see what happens. You say it's gone up 10 standard deviations? You can't even calculate that. If you take a look at the manipulation leg from yesterday, from this last hoorah drop lower right here, from this high to this low, 1.5 standard deviations is here. A lot of sitting here, folks. A lot of sitting. Looking at ES again. Got the 1 hour fair value gap here. This looks like we've just about closed that hourly fair value gap. That 4 hour closed exactly on the consequent encroachment of this 4 hour gap. Look at the close of that. I mean, look, I mean, to the tick. It closed on that. I think this 4-hour candle is going to close red or black. It obviously has 3 hours and 42 minutes left. There's nothing else here. All-time highs are sitting right here. If we can get a fair value gap here. We got one right here. I'm not really interested in any of this tick low. I need to see some type of displacement. It could still go lower, but I want an aggressive move. What's up, Deca? Yeah, we're doing well. We took one long towards the all-time highs. I took that on a personal account. I didn't want to copy that. Just was too high in premium. And then now we're just sitting to see if we get some displacements, displacing price action to the downside. I'm not interested until we have a 5-minute candle close below this level. If we're going to consolidate, that's what I'm looking for, is a strong close below that. I mean, we do have these two up close candles that we just closed below right there. So this is a market structure shift. So we have the formations of price rolling over. So that breaker we marked out looks like it might play out and at least give us 10 handles. Yeah, it's giving us 10 handles. But like I said, I want to see and be confident that we're going to move lower. Can't wait for too much confidence because by that time the move's already gone. But we're really not getting any fair value gaps. We're sitting right at this 5-minute order block. Nice job, Ted. The 5-minute candle did not close. So we are inside this fair value gap, this 5-minute fair value gap. I think I might wait till 10:45. This price action just is really not aggressive. Besides that one personal account trade towards all-time highs, I haven't taken anything yet. We did tag up to this low of the, we did tag that breaker right there. That does look nice. Only thing I don't like about this is I haven't seen the close below this 5-minute. And that's kind of what I'm looking for to make sure that we are, in fact, moving lower. So we'll see if this plays out or not. My gut's telling me that it's gonna move higher here. I think I would, if we roll over right here, respect this, and close below this 1 minute, I would be interested in running these lows. We got too much time on that candle though. We got 30 seconds still. They'll give this an order block here if we get this close. Okay, 5 minute is, oh my gosh. It barely closed below the bodies, but we'll see what happens here. So it did close below the bodies. I want to see any type of aggressive price action higher fail, and we'll see if it rolls over and gives us an opportunity here. Maybe it taps the breaker a third time. Here's equilibrium of the range right here. We just tapped it. At this point, because we have a change in stated delivery, I'm looking for this price action that's pushing higher to not reach the highs and potentially fail. That's what I would like to see. Here's a 1 minute fair value gap that I did not see. Looks like it's closing right through it. Yeah, the 15-minute also closed below this candle here. So we have a 15-minute change in stated delivery as well. So this candle, technically it could wick higher, but I would like to see the close lower below these highs to start rolling over. But I think we have the ingredients for some type of reversal here. What's up, Viking? How you doing, my friend? We're just sitting, watching the market, waiting. My hands are freezing. I don't have a heater in here because the heater's loud and it gets caught on the audio, but it is cold in my office. What's up, Candlesticks? How you doing? I could use an infrared heater. We don't buy those because I think they're almost pointless if you don't have any fan blowing it out because it just rises up. So Gunberg, one question. I have reached the safety net in my 50K PA account, but I broke the 30% consistency rule. One day I made $1,300 with one mini contract. I mean, that's a good problem to have. So my question is, should I submit? So give me your balances. Tell me what your balances are. The rule should be the safe answer is you need to make sure, I'll tell you the number. To get your $1,300 win under 30%, you would need to increase your balance to 4,300. You can do that. Your next option is this. If you trade an additional 8 days and you accrue over $500 in those next 8 trading days, and you only request a payout for $500, it will get approved, because it's going to look and see that you've only requested $500 and you've made $500. Then once that is approved, it should eliminate that $1,300 violation once you get a new approval. The key is getting that first approval. So if your balance, okay, so you got, I wouldn't be taking a withdrawal at all. I would be looking to get my balance up to 54,000. I would get my balance up to 54,000 and you'll be fine. But they are going to look at and see that was a bigger win. Just try to be as consistent as you can. That rule is in place for the first 6 payout requests. Not requests, your first 6 payouts, because if you get denied, it doesn't count as a payout. So does that answer your question? Got it, thanks. Yeah, I'm going to be making another video on Apex here, because from that denial, I got a second denial on the account that was denied, and I'm like, what the heck? What's going on? And I reached out to Apex, and they literally gave me information that I've never heard anybody talk about. So I'm going to be making a video on it, and this video is literally going to tell you how to make sure, number 1, you don't get denied payouts. But number 2, and more importantly, number 2, is if you get denied one time, how to make sure you're not denied a second time. Because when you're denied the first time, it's a big deal. They're going to look at that as you move forward. And there's something they referred to as your active pay period that I started asking questions about, and it gave me a lot of clarity. So, but in the meantime, so we saw this push higher. It didn't make a high. That's exactly what I wanted to see. We have a 30-second breaker right here. Fair value gap, fair value gap. These are relatively equal highs, though. Let's see if we can get this this to close below without running this low. I might be interested in that. Okay, I'm not taking that. It's too low from that. Oops. This is a lower probability breaker. I'm hesitant on if I want to take it or not because we didn't sweep any liquidity, obviously. This inversion right here to these equal highs looks attractive. If we get an aggressive candle from this breaker closing below this, I would be interested in potentially playing it to this low and these lows down here. Too small of a target. Target's only 4 handles. At this point, I would like us to run these equal highs right here. I would like a run of those equal highs, and then we'd have a high, low, higher, high, a breaker right here without running these all-time highs. That would be interesting. I'd consider that. So this inversion to the upside failed. We got another inversion right here. We're also finally in the macro time. I really would have liked this to sweep these highs to take this inversion. Graham, in macros, which is the last 15 minutes of the hour and the first 15 minutes of the hour, you will see price have less fake outs and more expanded moves. That's the short answer of it. So I will take trades outside of those times, but it gives me another level of confidence that a trade's going to work out when it's inside that time frame. I'm not going to take this. We're inside consolidation. And I'll be right back. I'm going to use the restroom. It's cold in my office. I got a blanket. I'm marking that fair value gap there. If we get an aggressive candle, that may be of interest. To the relatively equal highs that are sitting right there. Still not quite 10 handles though. It's a lot of sitting, folks. All right, I like this expansion lower here. If we close below this, I'm probably going to take a stab at that. All right, there's our stop to break even. Is the Mac, is this, come on. I'm trying to get this to work, but if it's not, there it goes. Okay. All right, I'm selling one contract and my stops to break even. Or I'm selling one group of contracts. Let's see if we can get down lower. If this wants to sell off a little bit. Target would be this 5-minute fair value gap. All right, stopped out for the rest of the contracts. We got 10 handles. We did sweep this low here, but we didn't sweep the next low. All right, we'll see if we can get something else here. So that gave us about a 15 handle winner. I sold at 10 handles for the first contract. The rest got stopped out at break even. want to see price come back up to this level here. If we can get back up to somewhere around this level here before we hit this 5 minute, that would be of interest to take another short. And then when this 15-minute closes, we have this 15-minute order block. We'll see if we can come up and tag that. I would like that as well. I wanted this 15-minute to close below this green candle to give us another order block. But if in 23 seconds, if we close like this, I'm going to need more information. What's up, Hank Day? How you doing, friend? All right, there's that level. I'm not going to take it unless I see some type of 1 minute change in state of delivery. And this candle here is going to close with no order block, so that's not good. And we came into a 15-minute fair value gap. We could see higher prices based off the 15-minute. The 5-minute rebalanced this, and it came into that 5-minute fair value gap right there. We'll see if this wants to push through there or sell off. We do have these relatively equal highs sitting right here. Five-minute came into this order block here. I like that, and I do like that. I need a 1 minute change in state of delivery. So another up close candle and then closing below that would give me that. A close above this inversion fair value gap would be nice for these levels here. But ultimately I'm looking for shorts, so ES is still hanging out in that 4-hour and 1-hour fair value gap. No close on that. $30-minute tagged into this 30-minute fair value gap. Yeah. Swept liquidity here. This looks really nice. I think I'm going to take a stab at it. Not quite 10 handles, so stops at break even. I'm looking to get 10 handles on this. We're going to target these equal highs right here. I'm going to go ahead and close that and secure that profit. That's 2 trades on the day. There's the high taken. Come on, Tyler, you should have been more patient. I could have been patient and waited for that. Been patient all this day. All day, and couldn't be patient for 3 ticks. But we got that there, folks. Nice trade. 2 winners on the day. Took an inversion long, and then we played this order block play. Where did we play that? Right here. We got in on this order block right here and played it to that high. I did take profit here at this high, and then the remainder of my contracts got stopped out. We played that with the intention of running to the all-time highs here. Did I take another trade? Did I take another trade? I can't remember. I think those were the only 2. No, did I take a 30-second short? I did take a 30-second short. And then we took this 30-second short right here. We went short on this 30-second. And we got stopped. We sold for 10 handles, and the rest got stopped out. DAC. What's DAC? I don't know. Do you see that on my chart somewhere, Phil? A DAC trade? Are you maybe mishearing? I don't think I've ever said DAC trade. An inversion, I-N-V-E, inversion, an inversion fair value gap. Is that what you're hearing me say? Does anybody else know what he's talking about by chance? Dollar cost. Oh, dollar cost average. Sure. Let me go to a paper account and I'll show you. So if I think it's going to go higher or I think it's going to go higher and I go higher right there. Okay, so right now I think it's going to go long. I'm going to set my take profit up here. And I'm going to set my stop loss down here. If we're going green and we're going towards our target level, then there's no issues. We don't have to worry about dollar cost averaging. And quite frankly, dollar cost averaging can hurt you more than it can help you. Well, let's just move this to all-time highs right there. Probably see if we can get tagged. But let's do the other way around. So if we're green, we're good. If we go short and we start getting in the negative here, what dollar cost averaging will do is, I'll show you. Well, now it's going to be, every time I want it to go in the negative, it gives me green. Let's just give it a second play out. Maybe I should do more paper trades and turn that to real cash and just trying to lose and you can't lose. All right, so it should expand now. Off of this order block, expand higher right here. Let's do this in reverse then. All right, if I think it's going to go short and I want to, or Come on, just decide real quick. I just can't have it around. I need it to be away from my entry. When it goes higher or lower, watch when I add another contract. Adding another contract is what, while you're in a play, is what dollar cost averaging is. Okay? So let's see if we can get this to expand higher here. If I think it's going to go short, and it's going short, like I said before, it's not a problem. Great, you don't have to dollar cost average. But maybe you want to add another contract in. If you want to add another contract because it's going in this direction, you're dollar cost averaging also. So watch this. When I say I'm going to go short, watch where this bar goes. Okay? Right? Do you see how it dropped down? Do you see how it went from here to here? It combined the two entries to give you your average entry for both contracts. Now I'm here. Now if I were to do it again, watch what happens with that bar again. It drops lower. That's the way I want it to go because it's now averaging 3 entries and giving me the average entry. So it moves my stop closer to where the candle is. In this instance, it's actually working against me. Theoretically, because I don't have a big enough spread now. I'm closer to the point where it could go against me. Okay? Now let's do the same thing, but let's hope that it goes long from here. If it goes higher, what people will do, actually we could do this. Instead of doing this, let's just do market replay. That'll be the easiest way. Okay, so let's just say you think it's going to go higher here. If you think it's going to go higher at this point right here, this is what dollar cost averaging is. I'm going to go long. Now, but what happens next? Price actually goes lower. I'm now down a whole bunch of money. Dollar cost averaging will do this. It will say, oh, well, we're about to go up. I'm going to go. This is what constitutional or institutional institutions do. If they think it's going to go long, when it goes and they go in for a long and it goes lower, they don't sell their position. They add to their position. Okay, so now they've averaged down closer to their entry. So now price plays out again. Price is playing out. Oh, it goes lower. I'm waiting for a green candle. There it is. I'm going to average down a second time. Every time my entry is getting closer to where price actually is, but I started over here and I thought it was going to go long. So as price continues to play out, oh, it goes lower again. I'm going to wait for another green candle. There it is. I'm going to average down again. So now you have gotten from this high where we took our long to where now we are at this swing low, which if I remember correctly, this was the swing low. But now look at where our entry is at. Our entry is roughly where? This is really good stuff, by the way. Look at where our entry is. Look what it's by. This is so key if you want to understand how price moves, okay? Look where equilibrium is. Equilibrium is really close to where our averaged down price is. Even though we're negative a ton of money, $1,300, we are close to the midpoint. Now, this is what is key about what institutions do, is they'll average down on a losing trade because they know there's a high probability that price, when it runs lower, it will run up to at least 50% again before it moves lower. And then they can close their position. And where will they close their position? They'll probably close it in profit, or at least break even. But most likely, it'll be in profit. And if they do think it's going long, well, guess what? They've averaged down and they have a much bigger position for this big move higher. So if we play this out again, okay, we have another couple down close candles. We'll wait for a green candle. We're going to average down one more time. And as it moves higher, by the time it hits, okay, it went lower again. Well, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to average down. And now I'm in profit, even though I started my entry way over here. And this is what institutions will do, is now look at where it's at. They're at break even. If they think they're on the wrong side of the move, they'll close their trade right here because they now think it's going lower. But even though they're closing their trade on a losing trade, they're closing it in profit because they've averaged down so much. This is the power of having so much capital. When you got so much money, you can continue to average down and take your losing trades and turning them back to green. We went long at all-time highs. Never do that. It retraced. We think we averaged down, average down, average down. Oh, it's going down again. I'm going to average down some more. And then by the time it gets back to the midpoint, we can even draw this midpoint moved lower. The midpoint is right here now because it moved lower in price. By the time it hit equilibrium, we're up $950. And now you can see it playing out. Maybe they're now bullish. Okay, I'm going to grab more contracts on this dip lower and average my position again. Yeah, it moves my position higher, but it's still at equilibrium of this entire range. They can close it if it comes back to equilibrium. And then price just plays. There it is. So they would stop out right there. So that's what dollar cost averaging is, Phil. I hope that gives you an understanding of what that is. It's a very powerful concept. I mean, we won't use it. I don't recommend us as traders to use it because most of us traders don't have that much capital. If you got millions of dollars that you can average down your position, then it is a very powerful way to make sure that you close out in profits, as long as you're not on the wrong side of the move when it comes to like big expansion moves higher and lower. But when you understand that price will, majority of the time, return to equilibrium, return to that midpoint of a range, it's a very powerful understanding. So let me give you another example of how we can use that same concept of dollar cost averaging without averaging down in a live position. We use that concept to understand how price flows and moves. Okay, take a look at this trade right here. Okay, where did I do this? I think I did this on the 1 hour. It was beautiful on the 1 hour, I think. Okay, look at this price leg right here. From this high, this is good stuff right here, folks. This is great stuff here that we're about to explain. Let me get rid of this. Actually, we'll leave that on so you can get a better idea. All right, so what we did is price is moving lower. Okay, let's pretend somebody took a long here. Average, 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 average down, right? guess where midpoint is, and what do we wait for? We wait for price to come up into that point. And what does it do? It comes up to that point beautifully. It comes up to equilibrium of this price range. Now, one of the tools ICT talks about is using OTE, or optimal trade entry. And so you'll see this level 0.618, 0.618 or 0.62 or 62%. 62% is our optimal trade entry on where price can reach up to before it continues lower. So price runs lower, comes back up to 50%. When it hits 50%, that is when I start looking to go short. So I'm not looking to average my position down. I'm looking at this in the concept that institutions and price action flows in this manner all the time. 50%, wait for price to come back up to 50%. If I think it's going to go lower, this is my time to start looking for entries. So let's look at this price December 10th at 9 a.m. Let's just take a look at the 5-minute chart right there, okay? Here is that price action. We came up here and we moved lower. No entry here, even though I think I took a short. Was it this trade I think I had a loss on? Because I saw this, I saw we were in a higher time frame, and I went short off of this, but it had one more price leg to make a breaker, and this is where it went lower. So it reached up into the 50%, tagged the 62%, and then it sold off. This is how we can use OTE, we can use equilibrium, premium, and discount, using price legs to find where equilibrium is, wait for those price levels to be hit, and then we can say, okay, I now have permission to start looking for lower prices. I have permission because why? Everything above this 50% to this high right here is premium. And everything below this level to this low that we hit is discount. So we want to go short in premium and long in discount. So when price comes up into this level, what do we start looking for? We start looking for shorts. We look for price to roll over, look for our entry model to see if price wants to go lower to key levels or points of liquidity like we see here. We have this low from yesterday, and price ends up running it down here. This happens all the time. If we're in discount, what are we looking for? We're looking to go long. We're looking for long opportunities. So your long opportunity could have been right here on this close of this inversion fair value gap sitting right here. Not saying I would have taken it, but on that close, what do we see happen? We don't see any close below this inversion fair value gap, and it runs to equilibrium. It runs to premium before it starts wanting to run lower. This is how you want to read and watch the market. When you can learn to see price in this manner, you won't see it every time, but when you do see it, it gives you confidence for setups. It gives you understanding of where the market's at and what you can expect. This is why when price was right here, I said in my I said on stream that I wanted to see price go higher first, and then I wanted to see it to go lower. Because not only were we going into premium, not only were we running into a 15-minute and a 5-minute fair value gap, but we were also running into premium. And we also were accumulation, manipulation, distribution. So there's so many confluences as you learn the language of ICT concepts that it just gives you a language of understanding how price moves. And then you can create your own entries. You can create your own trading styles, however you want to trade. However you want to do that, it's, you can do it. But now ICT Concepts gives you a language to communicate this to other people in a way that's understandable. And from here, folks, I think we're going to call it a day. This was a great trading day. We went 2 for... I followed my rules. I wanted to take 3 trades or less today. Took 3 trades. All 3 were winners. We took that long to all-time highs, and we took that 30-second short, and then we took a 1 minute long. So we'll call it a day here, folks. We'll be back again tomorrow, doing the same good stuff. A couple things real quick before you head out. Number 1, use the code DTJ. It's the freest way to support this channel. If you appreciate the content I put out, you can use DTJ on Apex, and it will give you the most updated discount Apex offers. So you can do that there. And then for those of you that are like, wow, I like what Tyler shares, I like all his information, but I would like it in a systematic fashion that gives it all to me laid out step by step so I can learn to read the market better. Well, you can join the Purpose Driven Trader Academy. You can find the link down in the description, and you can check that out. And it also comes with the Discord, where I'm building a Christian-based trader community where we're there to uplift, to encourage, to ask questions. I'm in there. I answer questions with people that have them. But we're looking at building that community out as well. So you can find the website is DTJ Academy, dtjacademy.com, and you can check that out there. So other than that, guys, God bless you. Thanks for being here. Stay safe, and we will see you all tomorrow. Take care.